2014 World Championship burst into life in Portugal, and there was action from the start. 2013 champion Timur Timurziano started where he finished last season, topping the charts in the early heats. But for the man who won the Portuguese round last season, life was a little harder. Lydden failed to make the start in heats 1 and 2 due to technical issues and finished the weekend pointless. RX debutant Jacques Villeneuve also scored nil points, finding himself on the wrong side of the learning curve come race time. He will be looking for more from himself and his car in later rounds. Starting their World RX careers with swagger were American champion Topi Häkkinen and 2013 Super 1600 champion Reinis Nittich, who both made the final, and for the 18-year-old Nittich, a third-place finish with the big boys in the championship table.
Yeah, it was brilliant weekend, and now I'm second in championship, and yeah, it was fantastic. And now I look forward for this race, second race here in England.
Round 1 belonged to just one person. For the man they call Hollywood, it was showtime. He was a second quicker than anybody in the heats, a good 2 seconds faster in the final, and for the first time in an RX machine, Petter Solberg was a spectacular winner. For a few frantic minutes, there wasn't a happier person on the planet.
Portugal was great feeling. I was very, very happy, and you know, when you work very hard for something and you start a new sport, it's quite emotional for everybody in the team, so great feeling.
Petter will need to carry over every bit of his form from Portugal as round 2 sees the arrival of Tanner Faust, reigning British touring car champion Andrew Jordan, and last season's runner-up, the Frenchman David Genet, looking to make an impact on his return to RX. The American speedster Faust has won twice in as many years at the English track, while fellow wildcard Jordan is no stranger to the discipline. With a huge grid packed full of world-class talent, it will take either a fool or a genius to pick a winner. While the championship looks like this, Petter tops the table, followed by Reinis Nittich and Topi Häkkinen, whilst Ford Olsberg's MSE top the team championship. For round 2, the championship moves to the UK, which also marks the start of the FIA European Rallycross Championship. The championship takes place over 5 of the European-based events inside the World Championship. The Lydden Hill track is considered the spiritual home of the sport and is situated in the southeast of England, just a few miles from the historic cathedral city of Canterbury. Hello and welcome to the FIA World Rallycross Championship here at Lydden Hill. Before the competition gets underway, let's take a look at our track guide presented by Ion. Away from the line at Lydden Hill, it's a flat-out blast down to the Joker and to Chestnut's Drift, the long gravel right-hander. Back onto the tarmac, Devil's Elbow, and then a run up the hill to the hairpin before returning down Hairy Hill and the very, very fast Paddock Bend. Onto the gravel again and over the finish.
If you're on the right side on the start line, then you have to go for the normal line. If you're on the left, you have to go to the Joker. If you're in the middle, it depends if you've made a good start or a bad start, if you go to the Joker or the normal line. It's up to you. And here, in the Joker exit, it might look like there's a lot of space, but with high speed and 2 cars sideways next to each other, it's very tight. And you have to get out in front into the racing line if you want to be first.
Here's the surface split at Lydden. The yellow sections are gravel and the grey is tar.
So you've had the heat of your life, you're coming around to the finish. It used to be a few years ago that the finish was actually back there. Now you have to go through the most difficult exchange of corners before you get to the finish, which is another 30 yards that way. And that means you have to confront in full battle mode this ugly curb. Everybody who has competed here has gotten this corner wrong at least once. One clip of that curve is a for sure puncture. If you take it on the underbody, you can be on the roof.
It was all hotting up at Lydden Hill even before Saturday's heats began. Anton Markman's fire in free practice didn't seem to affect his racing though. He looked on it from the very start. However, problems in Heat 2 go well on Sunday to make the semi-finals. Liam Doran jumped the start in Heat 1, and after the restart, despite having to complete 2 Joker laps, he gave fair warning of his pace. The British Bond's pace continued into his Heat 2 run. He was scuppered by an extra long start hold, and bar a miracle, Doran missed the cut-off for the semis.
And the start line system on the track went wrong and held the cars on launch for 11 seconds, and it's just too long for the cars to be able to cope with it. And yeah, just melted the turbo.
Timmy Hansen had the most action-packed day of the whole grid. He just lost out to the very quick wildcard Robin Larson in Heat 1, but in a carbon copy incident in Heat 2, he held firm. Ultimately, his pace is too much for Tommy Rustad to handle. As for the rest of the quick guys, Peter Solberg didn't start so well with 12th in Heat 1, but fastest Heat 2 time saw him high up the table. Double Lydden winner Tanner Faust was fast and consistent on his World RX debut, but even his day wasn't without drama.
I was telling the team, it smells like fuel in the car, and no sooner did I say that on the radio and it just burst into flames. So very little damage, just a bit of a mess to clean up, and we'll be back tomorrow.
But the man of the moment was Andreas Bakkerud. The impressive young Norwegian topped the day one standings in confident mood.
It feels amazing, you know. I'm where I want to be, and you know, we won the first heat. The second heat, I just got on the radio by Jussi that keep it calm, don't do any silly mistakes, and we kept to the plan. So yeah, good confidence for tomorrow, and we just keep on pushing.
Here's how they stand after day one. Bakkerud tops the standings, but it's all about the wild cards with Faust, Larson and Andrew Jordan all making the top 8. Remember, only 12 go through to the semi.
Andy, it's the first World Rallycross Championship round on home tarmac. That must feel great.
It's absolutely fantastic. I mean, obviously the build up to the event was something, but actually to come here, see the size of the paddock, the size of the entry list, and you know, already we're filling out on Saturday. What an atmosphere that's building.
You had a great heat win today.
Yeah, it was really, really satisfying for both me and the team, because we had an absolutely terrible Portugal, as everybody knows, car on fire. So my car's been totally rebuilt to come to this event, and thankfully we've got through 2 heats today, 1 win. So now we can concentrate more on setup and finding a little bit of extra speed. So hopefully we can keep progressing.
First heat, I didn't see the 5 second when I lifted it, and I don't know why I was looking around what the hell was going on, you know. And then the green went, and then I stalled. And then I went for a big attack, and we came second, so in the heat, so it was not so bad, but 12th fastest overall. So the last heat, I needed a very good time, but it was quite rough out there, so I was a little bit too chicken, I was a little bit too careful compared with what I should have done. But you needed a good time, and still we won it with 1 second, so that was fantastic, and we are 4th overall now, so we'll see tomorrow.
The competition is just harder and it's lots closer, so you have to do really well to win. And for us today, it didn't quite go our way. It's a brand new car, and we have to find our way through setup, what works, what doesn't, and we're finding the way, and we're getting close. So I'm very positive for tomorrow.
I think we could have probably been in the top 6, but still, I'd have probably taken that. The second heat was good, the car is getting better and better, and I was following Solberg, and I knew it would be quick, so I just wanted to try and go with him as much as possible, but he's a bit too quick at the minute.
What would you say are the major differences between circuit racing and rallycross?
The cars, obviously, they're a lot quicker. The start is 2 seconds, which is unreal, and in a touring car, to get it off the line, you need to be very gentle and delicate with the clutch and the throttle, whereas this, you just need to be really brutal and as hard as you can. So, it's completely different. I think the touring car experience with the racecraft and stuff stands me in good stead racing other cars, but equally you need to be able to have the car moving around on the dirt, which I can because I started in rallycross. So I had a good start, I've come away and I've come back, so I'm really, really enjoying it.
3 got underway, and of course it was time for those who'd struggled on day 1 in Heat 2 to try and make amends. So Anton Markland had his problems. He went straight into the standard lap. Davy Genet had an engine change overnight, and that's actually going to cost Jacques Villeneuve later in the year. Jean-Luc Paillet ended up parking it in the gravel trap. Anton Markland went on to take a great heat race win. Liam Doran got left on the line again as Monster Energy World RX team's start problems continued. He did get it away, but the other cars were almost all the way into turn 1 by the time he was away from the line. On board with him, very, very aggressive pass up the inside of Kooks. He also passed Oman and basically made his way through the field in impressive fashion. It was Skorupski that took the win, and Doran who came through in second. Jos Janssen had the inside draw. He made it into the first corner first. Up behind him was Julian Godfrey, a multiple British Rallycross champion. This was Ramona Carlson, her battle with Eric Farren. She got ahead of Farren at the start of the race, and they had their own fight at the back of the field throughout the heat race. Jos Janssen was out in front, took the win, and continued with his improved form for 2014. Alexander Wahl in Petter Solberg's teammate car around the outside of the Joker lap with Colin Powles at the start of his heat race. It's Wahl's birthday. This was him going up the inside of Linnerud at the top of the hill, but somehow just not quite on form. He can't seem to get the car to do exactly what he wants it to do. It works for Solberg, but it isn't working so far for Wahl. He's getting the races in, but the pace just isn't there. Andy Scott in the middle of the grid. Great start from him. He went to the outside and through the Joker lap. Had a little ding-dong with Fabien Payot trying to look up the inside, but Andy shut the door on him very hard. Henning Solberg was flying in the Saab at the front of the field. Derek Tohill was off twice, once at the bottom of the hill, and then again as he went into the Joker lap. So problems for the Irishman. Henning went on to take a stunning heat race victory. It was a great second place for Andy Scott. Time then for the fastest drivers from Heat 2. These are the guys who are highly likely to make it through to the semis. Andreas Backward, Timmy Hansen, Reinis Nittich, Timo Timosyanov and Jerome Grosset-Janin. Now looking at the grid, missing from the grid is one of the Hansen cars, and I think, is it Timosyanov?
It is Timosyanov, not here. He had a problem in the warm-up this morning, he's not made it out.
Double European and reigning European Rallycross champion Timo Timosyanov then is missing. That big hole in the grid you can see there. Great shame for him, and we know that one DNS here is probably going to be the ending weekend. On board with Timmy Hansen. He's looking for the green lights. There they are. They flash up next to the Monster Energy can and wait for the line. Great start by Hansen. Both of the Osberg's MSC cars with a good start as well. Bit of contact into the Joker lap, but on the main lap, one of the Osberg's MSC cars, it is Backward leading Hansen on the main lap.
This is on board with Timmy Hansen. Look at the shale being thrown up against the driver, and it shows just how bumpy it is coming off Chesson Strip. This is all business now.
On board then with Timmy Hansen chasing Backward up the hill. Backward won more heats yesterday. Timmy Hansen was only 7th quickest. He had a problem with the brake bias. He wasn't comfortable, was he?
No, he said too much on the back. He wasn't getting enough brakes on the front. Quite difficult to set these cars up on the brakes. Down into Paddock Bend, it's all dry now. Look at the dust coming up through the chicane. That's 110 miles an hour just there as they hit that right-hand curve.
Hansen's fast here. Hansen is right up behind Backward. You've got a quick shot of Jussi Penämäki up here on the spotters tower looking down for Backward. He'll be telling him when to go. Hansen now though, is he in danger of being rolled up behind Backward? Would it have been better maybe if he'd gone for the Joker there?
Yeah, I'd have told him to take it there and then, because the two cars behind have already taken it. He might come out in front, but he's being held up.
He looks like he's got a pace, Timmy. He won 3 out of 4 heats here. We know this track suits that racing style. He's got a background in single seaters. Look at the difference between the two driving styles.
Yeah, if there's any track that's going to suit the racing driver, it's this one. It's very dry, there's lots of tarmac, there's good grip even on the gravel.
Jussi Penämäki there was saying something into the radio. He's the team principal for Osberg's MSC. Was he happens when Timmy Hansen takes his joker lap, which he does now. Timmy Hansen from the commentary position, we can see he's taking his joker lap. Where's he going to slot back in?
He'll be on the left, coming into shot on the exit here. Jackson, there he is. He's on the loose gravel on the outside. He's not going to get the traction.
This is a great drive by Grosjean in, and he's judged this absolutely perfectly. Grosjean in with an early joker has got the jump on all these guys. Top drivers in World Rallycross. Grosjean in, of course, one of our European Rallycross drivers here this weekend. What a great job by him. He's early and a bit defensive on the brakes. Is anybody going to give him a push?
Brilliant driving by him. It worked out for Hansen because he got back in front of Baccarat, but he hadn't planned on Grosjean in getting in front.
Checker flags are out. Grosjean in over the line. Behind him, how close over the finish line. Timmy Hansen, Baccarat and Nitish. Absolutely. 1.3 seconds between first and fourth place. Timosyanov not in this heat. That's a good result, and it's a great time by all of those drivers.
Yeah, all doing 3-minute ones apart from Nitish doing 302. This was the start again.
Sensible decision, I think, the way they went for the split, although there was that little bit of contact, I think, between Nitish and Janin. But Janin somehow did a great job later on. We didn't really see, but we were following the battle up front. What Janin did to make himself that clear air.
He was right, and that's when he came out in front of Hansen. Hansen was concentrating all the time on Baccarat, and brilliant drive to win that heat from Grosjean.
Here's the result then, Heat 3, Race 7. Jerome Grosjean with a fantastic drive. Timmy Hansen right behind him. Baccarat in that train with Nitish as well. But a DNS for Timosyanov. Is that him out of the semi-finals?
Fantastic drive for Jerome and in a good position for the semi-final.
Yeah, it's really good. He did a really great heat here. I think he understood some things from yesterday, and so that's very fine. Yeah, we'll see the last times, but it's good, really good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Heat 3, Race 8. These are the very, very quick boys. Petter Solberg, Tanner Faust, Robin Larsson, Andrew Jordan, and Topi Heikkinen. Now this is going to be absolutely fascinating, Tim, because we've got two of our kind of permanent World Championship drivers here and three wildcards, Tanner Faust, Andrew Jordan and Larsson in the A1. I mean, this is going to be fascinating.
Well, this lineup could be the final. It's that good. But as you say, just a bit more about Larsson. He had a problem staging and we're going back to start, so see if he gets away cleanly.
Larsson does get away clean. It's a great start by him in the Audi in the middle of the grid. Andrew Jordan is over on the right-hand side. He has to take the joker lap. He goes with Topi Heikkinen. So Heikkinen and Jordan straight to the joker lap. Solberg leads. That's exactly what he'll want. Behind him, Tanner Faust. Contact between Tanner. They got a massive hit in the side.
He did, but Tanner forced the issue with Larsson going into that first corner. Got up to second, and then Larsson's given him a whack and pushed him out.
So
hit him completely.
Hit him completely. It's classic Petter Solberg quote. Larsson just no prisoners at all. Straight up the inside of Faust, who's won the last two times here. Out of the heaven at the top, Andrew Jordan chasing Topi Heikkinen down the hill. On board now in third place with Tanner Faust as he sweeps through the right-hander down a paddock bend, up and over the curves in the Polo. He's absolutely loving this car. Over to the left-hand side, I'm pretty sure that's Larsson has gone into the joker. So Larsson jokers Faust now with a bit of clear track. He want to make up some time. I hope he's going to sort out behind. Where does Larsson come out? Larsson is out. Is he in between Heikkinen and Jordan? Larsson's alongside Jordan. Jordan on the inside, but Larsson's going to have the inside down the devil's elbows. All locked up and sideways. Andrew Jordan sorts in front of it.
It just shows how quick Jordan was going because he took his joker lap on the first lap. He's come out in front of Larsson. At the front, it's going to be an absolute mad dash for Solberg to get in front.
So possibly there, Heikkinen and Jordan just got the timing, didn't they? Larsson and Faust with that bit of contact, maybe lost some time, and then when the joker's played out, look at Solberg's car control.
He is absolutely on it. And Faust with a couple of clear laps now. Has he pulled enough for gap on those behind him?
So Solberg and Faust, you can see from the graphic on the top of your screen, and the guys who've still got to joker following them.
Well, I think Solberg, will definitely stay out in the lead, but Faust, when he takes his joker, he's going to come out right in the middle or the back of this group of three.
Heikkinen is leading Jordan from Larsson. They're very, very close together in that second train of three cars. There's Pernilla, she'll be talking to Petter. Leads on the car, a little bit of left foot brake in the middle. Of course, you can see the brake lights for action. Petter fully committed. Look at him out of steering. He puts him. That's classic Solberg. Jordan
He should have taken the joker on that lap. It's the last lap.
So we think Petter Solberg is possibly Tanner Faust as well.
Why didn't they take the joker?
So have Faust and Solberg missed their jokers, or are myself and Tim Harvey going mad?
No, they haven't.
Vanilla shakes her head. Vanilla talks about she knows they've missed the joker. Petter Solberg and Tanner Faust have both missed the joker lap. This is going to see a heat win from Heiken and Larson. From our commentary position, we can see has managed to get past Andrew Jordan. What's happened to Solberg and Faust? Disastrous!
They're not in the same team. They both got it wrong.
Out come the checkered flags. When Petter sees that, he's going to be very disappointed. He's not got his head in the game. Andrew Jordan has a look at the inside Larson on the final turn. Faust comes through as well. Maybe Faust just followed Petter's lead and thought that he couldn't take the joker. There was another lap to go. Oh, Andrew Jordan runs at the back of Larson after the finish line.
There was a lot of confusion and high adrenaline stakes in that race, wasn't there? And Tanner Faust came across the line, went to take he went to take the joker, not even realising he's still on it.
Faust is still on the joker and he's now flapped out, and suddenly he realises, and now Tim, it's going to be sinking in.
It is. I don't know what that means, whether they're disqualified, do they get third and fourth place or fourth and fifth places in the heat?
I'm sure the stewards will have fun deciding. Here's a little look at the replays. So on the left-hand side of the grid, the right-hand side, as you'll see from the top shot, here was the contact. Oh yes. So yeah, up the inside Faust, but then Faust ran wide, and Larson just bang into the side of his head. It is coming, and there it is, bang. So that was where those two lost time. We know then that Larson slotted out behind Andrew Jordan, but actually managed to get back past him later on in the race. Yeah, that was just typical of the last heat race in any heat here in World Rallycross Championship, because it is, the action was unbelievable. I can't believe that our two fastest drivers there, two guys who are sitting at the top of the table, have both missed their joker laps.
You'd think, look at the disappointment on Panilla's face. I mean, you'd think with 4 laps it's not hard to count the 4, and with someone on the radio as well. What's Petter doing?
Petter's out of the car,
He's
having a wander
probably
across
told the
track.
officials that there should have been one more lap.
Yeah, he's unhappy.
Pernilla, what happened?
This is a disaster. He didn't hear me on the last run and didn't remember to take the joker lap, and him and I think also Faust didn't do it, so this is not what we needed, not at all.
What kind of penalty would they get?
I think you're disqualified if you don't take the alternate, or if you actually, no, you're given an extra time, but that's a lot. I have to check. It hasn't happened before, so...
Fingers crossed, Pernilla.
Thanks.
Here's the results of Heat 3 Race 8. It was Topi Heikkinen from Robin Larson, Andrew Jordan, all with decent times. Petter Solberg and Tanner Faust missed the joker lap. Here's the standings then after Heat 3. Topi Heikkinen, Andreas Backrud, Robin Larson, Timmy Hansen, Jerome Grosset-Janin with that fantastic drive, Nitish, Jordan and Henning Solberg in the top 8. Tanner Faust and Petter Solberg still just hanging in there despite missing the joker. Andy Scott and Cohen Powles, that's the cut-off for the semi-finals. The drivers may receive all the attention, but behind every rallycross star is the team principal, who binds the whole team together through the good times and the bad.
The crew chief is basically in control of the radio. Make sure also that the drivers attend the drivers' briefing to get the information they need about the event.
My role is to try to be to help all the people in the team and to make a good, say, atmosphere and to make it work good.
Generally, I try to use my experience from when I used to drive myself. You know, I had the good moments and I had the bad moments, and I sort of try to memorize those.
The Ion Spotters Tower is a home from home for the team principals come the start of every race.
Once we get to the racing, then the page turns completely.
I would say the most important thing is the radio communication you have with them from the Spotters Tower and on the track to tell them anything that happens out there.
I have always Timer on my radio, so I try to make him calm, and then I try to, when the start goes, I try to push him also when I see that the times is not correct or he needs to speed up, or to give him the advice also to take the joker at the right lap.
Things change, and then it's only reacting as soon as possible, trying to help the driver as much as I can.
The relationship between driver and principal is critical, and for Petter Solberg that relationship is stronger working alongside his wife Pernilla.
She knows a lot about motorsport. To have her, close to me, You know, I'm quite perfectionist. I want things to happen quickly. You know, it's a very good communication, and it works really well.
He has a lot of dreams, lots of goals, and massive amount of ambition. So it's just to try and find that balance of what's actually achievable and what to do and when to do it, not to do everything at once, but take it one step at a time, because he's just so passionate and full of ideas and things all the time. So I think I'm the brake and he just want to go all the time.
It's fantastic when you can do something like that, you know, like a family thing, but winning is the main thing.
You know, it's a really wide range of tasks that needs to be looked after. Of course, it's a lot of people doing that, so it's not everything on my shoulders. But at the end, if something goes wrong, it's on me.
When we do something, we do it together. We win together and we lose together. That's very important with our team. So try to be like mainly like a father and hopefully a good father.
A driver or any person would not be anything without the team. It's a team effort, the whole thing.
Kenneth, great time for Timmy, but we all want to know what happened to Timo.
We have some engine problems there, so we are working on it. So he couldn't come out this heat, but we are quite sure he will be out in the last one. So it was a pity, but that's things that happen sometime.
Yeah, not a lot of time until the next heat. Is it possible to fix?
Yeah, for sure. You know, I said I had magic mechanics.
You did?
Yeah.
Thank you, Kenneth.
They are there.
Well, it was 1966, and I was directing World of Sport. And the mainstay of sport in those days, on a Saturday afternoon, was horse racing. And of course, in the winter, you could suddenly lose a horse race. You know, maybe 5 minutes before we're going on the air, we get a call from Sandown Park and say, there's snow, there's fog, or whatever. And we had to keep going. So we used to run some old motor racing films to fill in instead of the horse racing. And then one Saturday, another broadcaster up the north did a hill climb in Yorkshire, and it was terrible weather, all ice and snow, and being hill climb cars, they're like sprint cars, and they were trying to get up the hill and they were slithering all over the place, and to get back to the paddock they had to go across a field and down a gravel track. That's better than the actual hill climb. I thought, well, if I could do something like that. I had a phone call from a guy called Bud Smith, who was in the 750 Motor Club. And he used to do trials, those little mud plugging cars. And he rang me and he said, would you like to televise trials? I said, well, not really. I've got another idea. I don't know what it's called. I don't know quite how to do it. But I want to do an event which is a mixture, like a rally, where you've got tarmac, you've got loose surface, maybe grass. Any ideas? He said, yeah, there's a place down in Kent, Lydden Hill, ideal. I said, well, let's get down there quick. So we came down and I had a look around here. And so I went back to my boss and I said, I've got this idea, got the approval of the RSC, I've got a club who can put it on, I've got a circuit. All we need is some money. And they said, well, how much do you want? So I said, well, we want a unit, okay, 3 cameras. I said, we could do it on 3 cameras. So it went out Saturday, 3 slots, it went off, it went brilliantly. Everything worked as we'd hoped. And I'm in the scanner and the red phone goes. And it's the boss. And he said, hi. He said, that was good, wasn't it? I said, yeah, it was all right. He said, can you do another one? I said, when? He said, 3 weeks' time. I said, hold on. I opened the scanner door, looked at it, I called the guys down. I said, fellas, can you come back in 3 weeks? And they all went, yeah, sure. And we mounted another one in 3 weeks' time. And that was Rallycross.
Heat 4, and it was time for those who'd messed up, missing their joker laps, to try and make them. Tanner Faust was up first. He was lucky with the draw, which meant he had only 3 cars in his heat race. Rustad went to the inside, Faust went for the joker lap, wasn't going to miss it this time round. On board with the American driver. And it was a very, very impressive performance from him, adjusting the car as he went. Wasn't going to have anyone get anywhere near him. Rustad, after going off yesterday and having more problems this morning, was quick, but won't make it through to the semis. Faust firing the dirt up in Rustad's face and over the line. Great win in the polo.
Tanner, happy with the result?
Yeah, I had a little bit of a bad heat on the last one, so it's really critical. Both Solberg and I have really good last heat. I had a little bit of understeer, but I think the VW is really good. Hopefully it's a decent time.
Petter Solberg, the other man who'd missed his joker, made this incredible start in his heat race. Straight across from position 5 right to the inside and set about trying to set another incredible time. Off into the distance, he had clear track in front of him and he used all the grass, all the track, every inch in typical Petter Solberg style. 2003 World Rally Champion was flying.
Petter, fantastic start.
Yeah, I was happy with that. The car works really well. But bloody hell, I'm disappointed with earlier. When the radio cut out and couldn't hear anything. And then I looked at the board because it was quite panic, and I saw two. Faust did the same thing. So I was a disaster, but now I just have to drive quick start and then drive very calm to not do any mistakes at all. So it didn't go so fast, you know, but
Thank you, Petter.
Yeah.
Oh, apologies from Petter, always excited of course. Eric Fahren in the DS3. Great start by him. Had to avoid Kootenay, who was going to the joker lap, but he got out in front of Carlson, who he'd had that battle with in the previous heat race. And it was time, now that Fahren had a decent car underneath him, they found a hole in the intercooler pipe overnight for him to disappear off into the distance and set a fantastic time. Cooks was sideways everywhere. Peter Hedstrom was driving around the track with his door open, not quite sure what the issue was, but he won't make it through to the semis. Eric Fahren, though, proving just how fast he can be in a supercar. Here's the lineup for Heat 4, Race 5. Alexander Wahl, Liam Doran, Lucas Walfridsson, Emil Oman and Anton Markland. Some very quick young drivers in this one. Doran then will be looking to make an impression, as will Wahl. Wahl somehow just hasn't seemed to get the job done. Liam, we know, so to the start.
I was going to say, he'll just be happy to get it off the line.
He will indeed. Put on the handbrake for him. Great start by Doran. Wahl on the inside as well. So Doran, I think, is going to go straight for it. Walfridsson. And Markland, of course, in the polo, got straight to the joker lap. Emil Oman has slotted in third.
Yeah, Alexander Wahl second, so we'll have to watch the progress here. We've split the strategies. It's always interesting to see how they work out to the end, but Liam at least is going to have an opportunity to show this in what we've missed out on so far this weekend.
Liam just had a quick look down there when he shifted. It was almost as if he was unhappy with something in the car. He's on a glance down to the centre console, but he's absolutely flying here. But as you say, we've got a couple of cars that have gone to the joker. Walfridsson and Markland, we know, are super quick too.
Yeah, well, Markland's a big one to watch. See what progress he makes. Look at that car bouncing around.
A hit on board there. Liam moved entirely in the scene. There goes to show the horses involved in the bottom. I'm surprised they can hold the car together, team.
They do take a pound on these cars, but Liam's pulled out a big gap already on Alexander Wahl.
Oh, but in fact, he's now all over the back of Wahl as well. So Wahl just somehow hasn't managed to get hooked up this weekend. I'll have a look and see if I can find out where he's been finishing roughly. He's had a 21st, a 25th and a 28th. Sorry, those are the points. He's had a 23rd, a 19th and a 16th. But, you know, this is only one 2 events last year. Something's not quite right.
Something's not clicking. He's in the sister car to Petter Solberg, who's seen how good that car is. His setup, he was changing it as late as this morning in the morning. So he just hasn't found that sweet spot to get him the confidence.
I know he did some pre-season testing with Petter, and you know, he said the car was doing great. I said he adapted to it's brilliant, it's fantastic. But you wonder, don't you, if maybe he needs to get that car set up for him. Petter is a very special kind of driver.
Yeah, Petter clearly has his own setup. It's difficult when you've got a teammate that's as famous and as talented as Petter Solberg. You know, your instincts are to follow everything that he does. But sometimes you have to trust your judgment and do what's right for you.
Liam Doran up in the hairpin.
He doesn't have any worry. He's not following anybody else, does he? He does exactly what he wants to do. That's what we love about Liam. He's exactly that.
He's a very, very forceful driver. Again, you can see the impacts through that bumpy section.
Well, I always say that driving race cars, rally cars, is the second best form of exercise, Andrew. So
It's my kind of exercise, certainly. Unfortunately, the bank balance won't start here as a general rule. Markland slots in second place. Doran in first.
The joker on the very first lap. So we haven't missed that pace that he's had. He's been going very, very quickly.
by Markland. And Wilkinson, I think Wilkinson went with him on that first joke, didn't he? Well, he's managed to slot it in third too. So it hasn't been a bad tactic, but Doran has gone for the normal lap, and that seems to be what people are doing if they want to go quickly, doesn't it? If you can get to the normal lap. Checking flags around. Home heat race victory for Liam Doran. Malkin crosses the line behind him. I think Markland was closing there. Good job. Liam pushing the car back down through the gearbox.
Another quick time for 3:01.3.
Brilliant, great drive. Unfortunately, of course, the problems through the weekend, Tim, means he's unlikely to make it. Look at the start. Val, was that a delayed start from him? Do you think was he
reaction?
slow? Yeah.
More reaction, I think, to the lights. I think we should have a reaction timer to the lights, a bit like drag racing, just to see, because it's such an important part of the race.
It is, isn't it? I mean, it's absolutely... And look at the hits that the car and the driver take down at the bottom of the hill there. It's so heavily loaded, isn't it? It's hard on the brakes, leaning on it.
The funny thing is, in the car, you're not really aware of it. You know, when you see the in-car, you think, do I really move around that much in the car? You're not aware of it when you're driving.
Just fully focused on getting the result, and the result was a very, very quick heat time from Liam Doran. Here's the results. Liam Doran, Anton Markland, Lucas Walfredson, Alexander Val and Emil Oman.
Liam, third fastest time in the heat and race win. Are you happy?
Yeah, I'm happy I finished the race without any problems, to be honest. I've had another tough weekend this weekend, and you know, the team's working as hard as they can, and I'm driving as fast as I can, and you know, that's all we can do at the moment. So I'm just happy we had a good result, a strong result.
Thanks.
Here's the grid lineup for Heat 4, Race 6. Andy Scott, Cohen Powles, Jos Janssen, Julian Godfrey and Fabien Paillet. We've got a couple of fast starters in here and a couple of people who've really upped their game this year. So Cohen Powles and Jos Janssen. Julian Godfrey, of course, as well. This is his home track. He made the final last year when it was European Rallycross, but it was a smaller entry. How's it gone all Godfrey's way this weekend? Can he make up for it in Heat 4? Away from the line, we didn't see the lights, so it was hard to see. There was a slow reaction, four cars leaning on each other there.
Wow, Andy Scott pushed up and shoved his way into first place on the inside. He's watched the heats, he knows how important the first place is. He's a great starter, but he's really had to look past the issue.
Well, it would be hard to be there. He's got that one, so four cars were in contact with him down to turn one, but great job, and he's away, and he's done the standard lap, and we've seen that this is quick.
It is, it's the way to go, but only if you establish a gap. I don't think that's going to be possible because the cars behind are both very quick.
So Cohen Powles is right behind him, Fabien Paillet in third place. Andy Scott withstood big pressure yesterday, which two I think it was. He's having, I think, his best race weekend since the Albatech team was running the 208s last year, of course. The European Championship this year. He's running Jack Villeneuve alongside him. He's got David Genet here. To replace Villeneuve at Indy 500. Powles goes to the Joker. And he spent a lot of time yesterday looking at Villeneuve's onboard, but he's wide there, he's wide, Tim.
Cheshires, the gravel's really loose, you just lose drive. He's lost a couple of seconds there for sure. Meanwhile, Cohen's took the Joker lap. We'll have to see where that works out after Andy does his.
Andy Scott in the middle of the road on the race a little bit earlier, slightly defensive. Fabien Paillet is right behind him. Both these two guys have got to Joker. I wonder if Paillet might think if he's being held up to go now.
Yeah, could possibly do that. I think that's why Cohen Powles took it on the last lap.
And he does. So Paillet goes to the Joker. Andy Scott is going to save him for the last lap. Andy's gap at the moment when they come over the line is about 5 seconds back to Powles in third place. So if Scott does a clean Joker lap on the last lap, he could win this one.
He could, and he kept it nice and tight. Nice and tight coming through Cheshires on the exit where the maximum traction is.
Where they're here, we've got so much dirt up in the air compared to last year. We were here in March last year. It was freezing cold. There was a bit of snow and sleet on the day. Glorious sunshine day and a packed capacity crowd of living from round 2 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship. That is why they're here.
Yeah, they're here to see one-time fast cars, 600 horsepower, turbos popping, bodywork, touching and rubbing. This is great racing.
You enjoyed your weekend, Tim? Of course, first time Tim Harvey here, British Touring Car Champion 1992, commentating on Rallycross. Tim's great.
Absolutely loving it. Like seeing cars being driven on the limit. Nice history there. Andy could guess him. Can he come out the lead? Yes, just does it. Just does enough.
Brilliant job by Andy Scott, and that was very, very close. Cohen Powles in the background, backing the focus in. Andy goes defensive on the brakes from Paillet. Paillet's only got a couple of turns to go. Be foolish to make a move now. Surely just get to
better driver. I'm in a world championship alongside my heroes, Solberg and all the others. He said it's fantastic. So to win a heat like that, brilliant.
Brilliant job, brilliant job. Jos Janssen coming down the hill, he's still running, so Jansson's got a rear left puncture. So it's a rear left punch for Jos Janssen. Little look at the replays. Tim, talk us through this start.
Watch this start. Scott gets a good start, but he's not in front, so he forces the issue on the brakes to get inside, and that's what set him up for this race win.
Loads of contact off the start line. He then withstood the pressure through several laps. Looks like Jos Janssen's tyre went down early on.
Yeah, clearly had a puncture at that point, didn't he?
High 8 and Powell's up over that big curve on the inside.
Yeah, that's a dangerous one, that. But the drivers are unsighted with the dust that's in their face. They can't see it clearly.
Up over the line, it was very, very close indeed, but a great drive from Andy Scott, and I think that's going to see him in the semi-finals. No fire this time out either. Result of Heat 4, Race 6, Andy Scott, Fabian Paye, Cohen Powles, Julian Godfrey and Jos Janssen.
Derek Tohill, touring car champion last year. You've now taken the step up to Supercar. It's your second Supercar race. How is the transition?
Yeah, transition is a pretty big one, but yeah, we're getting to grips certainly this weekend. We made semi-finals in Portugal. Here we were 37 cars. Obviously, it's very competitive. Great field of drivers. We were on the cusp of making the semi-final, and then we got a puncture. So a bit concerned after the puncture that maybe we've missed a cut, but yeah, we had some good pace at various points in the weekend, and yeah, we're testing while we're racing, and we hope that come maybe race 4 or 5 we'll be right there.
How competitive is it in the World Rallycross Championship?
Yeah, it's like when you look at the entry list. In the past, you'd have looked at an entry list and you'd gone through it and went, okay, that's fine, he's okay, yeah, we can beat him, maybe not. Now you look through it and you just go, right, every single person is going to be tough to beat. There's really probably about 35 cars who could potentially win, which is great.
So, I'm Anton Martin, and I will show you around in our Volkswagen Martin Motorsport garage at the races. Yeah, as you can see here, we have a photo star in the team as well. Yeah, here as you can see, we are quite relaxed in this team. Top is just chilling there on top of his car. And yeah, you're a funny guy, I know. So this is the winning car, my Volkswagen Polo, super quick. This is Adam, he's my crew chief and also my spotter. So he tells me when I should go into the yoker or when I should make a move or whatever. Underneath here I have someone called David. So he's working on the car right now and hopefully doing a good job. So I will show you, this is the trailer we are transporting the cars as well as where me and Toppy is having our office. So this is our office. Here are we checking the GPS loggings when we have been driving, if we have been doing good or bad, and what we can do better. Of course, we can change our gears, as you can see. It's of course Toppy. He has left his driver suit and everything on the table. I'd never do like that. And we can work with our computers and talk about what happened on the track.
Here's how they line up for Heat 4, Race 7. Henning Solberg, Krzysztof Skorupski, Robin Larsen, Andrew Jordan and Alexander Thiel. Skorupski was fast last time out, but
they're
I think
all fast now.
They are. Once we get into the business end of the heat, Larsen very impressive in the A1, and of course alongside him another one of our wildcard drivers, Andrew Jordan, the current British touring car champion. He just needs one more good heat, and we're going to see him in the semi-finals. Absolutely. Here we go. Start then. Everybody's ready for it. Who's going to react fastest when the lights come on? Great start by John Skorupski's left the line, and Larsen as well. We need to see down into turn one. Skorupski gets away. Andrew Jordan's got round for the job. Between Jordan there and Thiel. Jordan's now going to go inside Thiel. Sideways all the way to the track. Andrew's coming worse there.
Good old BTCC push and shove move there, but outside finish. He needs a good, steady, quick heat to get towards quick enough. I think he's quicker, and the race really will want to get past.
Well, let's see then whether or not Jordan is going to look for a move. He has a look up the inside, back to Norrin a little bit. He's all over the back of Tuel here. Of course, they both joking, so there's no option now for either of them to, to sort out this run of traffic.
Well, Andy's looking again up the inside. He's late on the brakes. Seems to have a bit better turning now. He's had understeer again, but it's better on the entry to Ports now.
He lit the throttle up really early there as well. We know how much Andrew Jordan's enjoying this as well, Tim, because you're used to commentating on in British touring cars, and he's having a whale of a time here this weekend.
Andy Jordan has the best car control and is the most committed out of any VTCC driver. You're watching it again. He's on the inside now, up into the hairpin. Good move.
Brilliant move for Andrew Jordan. Fantastic. Just as we're talking about touring cars, that was a bang-on touring car move, Tim.
So he's actually going to pull away now. Won't damage in the front, it won't bother him. But he really is a committed driver and has good car control. So he's on board pole position, and particularly on the far surface like Foxton, are absolutely mesmeric to watch.
His famous one-handed save, of course, I think was through Church as well, wasn't it? He is a race now, Andrew Jordan. Henning Solberg through Devil's Elbow and away up the hill. Larson now is being closed down by Andrew Jordan. Larson's already joking. Only Henning Solberg has to joke. And you're looking at now in the white sub. So Henning Solberg with a gap of only 3.2. Tim, where do you think he's going to slot back in? Behind Larson?
Yeah, well, they're going to be equal, but it will be difficult to get the drive out of Chessons when they come back on. It's going to be very close.
Henning up over the curbs. Here he goes down to the joke lap. So keep your eyes peeled here. Henning is around the outside of the joke. On the inside is Robin Larson. Wildcard entrant here. He's doing European Rallycross in the A1. He's got it easily. Is Andrew Jordan going to get the overlap on Henning Solberg as well? No, Solberg comes out in front of Jordan. Tuel behind them, and Skorupski is still going, but another missed start for him. He'll be disappointed. Larson into the left-hander. Henning behind him.
I think going right there, Andy Jordan through the gravel of the Devil's Elbow. He's kept it going, but he's dropped to second in a half seconds.
So Andrew Jordan then with a mistake down at Devil's Elbow, it looks like, into the hairpin. Almost if he used the handbrake. He hasn't been doing that much, but he did use it a little bit yesterday.
Yeah, he's coming into the inside line. He had to use the handbrake to get the car rotated.
Over the line then, Larson takes the victory from Henning Solberg. Andrew Jordan is going to come through in third. Let's see what the time's like. And in fourth place, Alexander Tuel. So Jordan with a 3:05.5. We know he can go 3-4 seconds quicker than that, but Tim, that's easily going to be enough to see him in the semi-finals. That was his aim for the weekend. Great job, Andrew Jordan.
That is the hurdle done. He's got through to the final 12. He'll be in the semi-finals. Anything can happen from there. Great performance.
He can race now, can't he?
He looks like he wants to race already.
He does, doesn't he? Here's the result. Robin Larson from Henning Solberg, Andrew Jordan, Alexander Tuel and Krzysztof Skorupski. Another look at that start. Skorupski left. Andrew Jordan was squeezed between Tuel and Larson, but Larson then went right. That gave Jordan room, but we know he then had contact down into the joker lap. Here was Jordan held up behind Tuel.
Well, Jordan fourth on the grid. He sort of had to take the joker on the first lap, really. Then a couple of laps spent behind Tuel really cost him a bit of time, and then that little mistake at Devil's Elbow. So we know that he could have been 2 or 3 seconds quicker.
Only one other issue for Andrew really this weekend, of course, was a puncture yesterday on the final corner of one of his heat runs. So he would have been a little bit further up. He's in the semis. That's all you've got to do to stand a chance of making that all-important final. Final heat race then, heat 4, race 8. Topi Heikkinen, Jerome Grossi-Janin, Timmy Hansen, Andreas Backerud and Reinis Nittisch, 5 faster young drivers you won't find today.
No, and the giant killer in them is Grossi-Janin, isn't he? He really came up trumps in the last heat, so he may not have been coming into this heat maybe as a favourite, but he is quick.
And Timazyanov, of course, Hansen's teammate, is missing.
He's out of it. Had a problem this morning and hasn't appeared since. We don't know what the problem was, but that'll be another final that he's not going to get into.
Disappointing for the current European Rallycross champion on board with Reinis Nittisch. Getting himself ready for the start.
Oh.
Timmy Hansen's out the car. Timmy Hansen's out the car. Oh my goodness me, both the Peugeot Hansen's then are going to retire before the marshals are talking to him. Timmy will be desperately disappointed. Surely they're not going to leave the car there.
They won't hold the start though. They won't hold the start for him.
Timmy walks away then. Timmy walks away from his car, stranded on the grid. The gloves are off. That's both him and Tim Asyanov, and it was before he lined up on the grid, Tim.
He must have known he had a problem. They pre-stage, effectively do a practice start to set all the tyre temperatures and turbo and anti-lag, and he knew he had a problem because he didn't pull up into position.
Timmy Hansen then is out of his car and away. They're going to start this heat and leave his car sitting on the start line. Won't like that, but here we go. Let's see who's left, who's going to be the quick driver on the inside. It's Heikkinen. Heikkinen gets the whole truck straight away. That's around the outside. Now here is Grosjean trying to make a pass. Grosjean slots in second place, and the other two, Becker and Nittish, joker together. In fact, they did that in the semi-finals and the final last time. They both went together. This is, I don't know, maybe a strange tactic as teammates, or did they have no choice, Tim?
I think they probably could have had a choice, but they decided to go with it. They need to not fight amongst themselves and try. Now they're pushing Timmy Hansen's car off the grid into a safe place. This is on board.
With Timmy he's run back to the car and jumped in it so they can move it to somewhere safe, which is sensible because the cars are now coming back around to that position. Toppy Heikkinen, fastest man in Heat 3. He's leading this heat race, the final heat race of Heat 4, on to lap 2. Jerome Grosjean goes straight to the track. Tim, we were so impressed with his drive that previous heat, weren't we?
We were, but I see where he slots back in between the two Rosberg Fords. He's going to come out just behind them, or is he going to be in between them?
Around the outside, it's super close, isn't it? I think it's Baccarat, it is. It's Baccarat that he's having a look at, but those two guys are both joking now. I don't think he's going to get past, but sure, with these guys all being so quick, it's just now train, surely to the finish line.
Go as fast as you can and stay there. Don't make any mistakes.
On board with Rainis Nittish, 18 years old. He had to come in late on Friday because he had a maths exam to do.
And he said the maths exam was much harder than driving a 600 Supercar.
It definitely wasn't as much fun. So, I asked him how the maths exam had gone. He gave me a full breakdown as if it was a heat race. What section of it had gone well? Brilliant, really nice young man. Cross-section in's wide. Not sure he's had a puncture. He's just come out of the loose stuff.
He's still going. I think the problem is when you get stuck in the loose stuff, you just can't get off it. You can't get back on the grippy side of the track.
So he's lost time. I don't think it's going to affect him too much. I don't think he'll be looking to make up any places there. Heikkinen at the top of the hill has still got to do his joke of that. Heikkinen had around 5 seconds, 4.5 seconds at the end of the last lap. Coming down the hill now. Heikkinen is and a great spot by Tim Harvey. The tyre is off Heikkinen's car, so he now has got it. Is he going to nurse it or is he going to thrash it? What do you do?
He's just got to keep it going. He's got to thrash it as much as he possibly can. Because all the corner we might handle. That's why we can't turn right now.
So disaster there for Heikkinen. Heikkinen was leading as well the intermediate classification at this point. I think if he can just get it round to the finish, doesn't matter if there's nothing left in the race, he's still going to qualify for the semi-finals. It may drop him a couple of slots, but not the end of the world.
He can still finish, but he'll probably take that left front wheel and suspension with him. But he'll still finish. He won't get a bad time actually. It's just getting through Paddock Bend on the last lap. We can use the handbrake here at the hairpin. But this next corner, the fast right at Paddock, that's where he'll struggle this time.
So Nittish and Baccarat, teammates aboard Osberg's MSC. Nobody tried to make any silly moves. They know exactly what they want to do. Over the line, it's a great time from both 301.2 and 301.6. On board with Nittish after the finish line, and there is a very, very disappointed Timmy Hansen. I know how hard Peugeot Hansen worked to get those cars ready prior to the start of the season. They'll be disappointed that neither of them is going to make it through even to the semi-finals this time. Here's a look at the replays. Toppy Heikkinen, there was Timmy climbing out of the car. He knew, and he gave that sign language. There we go to the marshal. It's gone, it's done. And that's his weekend finish too. Grosjean in and Heikkinen down towards the first corner. And then the two Ford Osbergs MSC. These guys were so sensible, Tim.
Yeah, did exactly what they know the score. They knew they had to just follow each other and drive tidy laps. They really got forced into both taking the joker by Janin there, who Grosjean who came back in just behind them. Look at that, all four wheels off the ground coming through the chicane. Great slow-mo shot there. That was the puncture that stopped Toppy Heikkinen from winning this race and cost him several seconds. But it was fortunately it was on the last lap and he was able to nurse it home.
Great heat race, great disappointment for Hansen. Here's the result: Rainis Nittish, Andreas Baccarat, Jerome Grosjean in, Toppy Heikkinen with that puncture, and Timmy Hansen with a DNS. Well, brilliant action then all the way through the heats here at Lydden Hill for round 2 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship. There's your top 12 who will go through to the semi-finals. And that's how they split. So odds to one and evens to the other. Backerud, Heikkinen, Solberg, Faust, Solberg and Hansen, who we don't think he'll be going through. He didn't start heat 4. And then in semi-final 2, Larsen, Nittish, Grosse Janin, Andrew Jordan, Andy Scott and Anton Markland.
We had some engine problems on Timur that we are not able to fix, and on Timmy we had, when he did the pre-start, some noise came, and we have not checked yet, but it seemed it could be also an engine problem. So of course we are very disappointed, but it's also a surprise for us because we have done quite a lot of reliability tests and so, but we will need to check and go forward.
What does this mean for both the Drivers' Championship and the Team Championship?
It's hard to say. It's early in the championship still, and it's 10 rounds more to go, so everything can happen. And we just need to focus on our own thing and make it good. So hopefully we can be strong in the future instead.
And the drivers must be incredibly disappointed. How do both you as the team manager and the drivers deal with that?
We know, all three of us, how it is, because I have had this in the past and they take it really good. I'm surprised. I expect them to be more disappointed, but we have a good team. We win together and we lose together, so it's a good feeling.
Thank you, Kenneth, and good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Andrew Jordan coming in from British Touring Car Championship into a round in the World Rallycross Championship. You seem to be enjoying yourself.
I did yesterday. I've made too many mistakes today, so I'm a bit angry with myself. But we're through to the semi-final, so hopefully we can have a good one and get through to the final would be the aim.
How have the heats been for you?
Yesterday heats were good. Heat 2 especially was very good for us, and heat 3 and 4 I've just been trying a bit too hard. I think I just need to rein it back, so I'll go and give myself a little bit of a talking to and improve for the semi-final.
And how does it feel to have all three cars in the team through to the semi-finals?
It's great. I wouldn't have liked it if I wasn't in and these two were, but equally if those two get through to the final, I'll be disappointed. So I need to make sure I can get into the top 3 and get through to the final. But I said it was going to be tough getting into the semi, so we've done that. But the work's not over.
Toppy, one of the best and the fastest drivers this weekend. How has it been for you?
Yeah, it has been quite good. Let's say after heat 3 we're leading, but on the last heat we get the puncher, which is dropping down on 3rd place. But anyway, we start the semi-final in 2nd place, which is quite all right, and we just want to win these races, and that's why we're working so hard with the car.
It's going to get even tougher now into the semi-finals. What's important there?
Yeah, I have to take a good start, and I know my car is fast, and just flat out.
Thank you, Toppy.
Thank you.
The FIA World Rallycross Championship has come home to Lydden Hill, the birthplace of the sport back in 1967. It's round 2 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship, and it's round 1 of the European Rallycross Championship, 5 rounds across Europe. Of course, we're in the southeast of England, and this is what's been happening so far. Anton Markland with a disaster, hit by a golf club during the week. He had stitches in his face, his car caught fire right at the start of the day. Free practice yesterday, but he went on to win his heat race. It was a great job by him. Timmy Hansen went wheel to wheel with Tommy Rustad. He did the same again in a later heat, but watch this from Rustad. A puncture meant that he buried the car in the barriers. It was a big hit. He did come back out today. It didn't all go according to plan, unfortunately for him. Petter Solberg, one bad start yesterday, but in typical World Rally style, he was absolutely flat out and sideways everywhere and managed to make up the time. But it was all about this man, Andreas Backerud. He was fast in both of his heats, and that left him sat at the top of the standings after heat 2. Here's how they were. Andreas Backerud from Tanner Faust, Toppy Heikkinen 3rd, Solberg in 4th, Larsen, Timoziano, Hansen and Andrew Jordan. This was this morning on board with Tanner Faust. Petter Solberg in front of them. They made a massive error, crossed the line to take the checker flag in 1st and 2nd. They've both forgotten to do their joker lap, and you can see how upset Petter's wife Pernilla was about that. We didn't think they'd make it through, but because they'd had such fantastic results and then were in a low heat for heat 4, they managed to do the business and make it through into the semi-finals. Tanner Faust with a great drive, completely clear track, only really him and Rustad in his heat. Over the line in the polo, which he's thoroughly enjoying, did the job, and you'll see him in the semis very shortly. Petter Solberg, look at this, from slot number 5 on the grid, right the way across to the inside. Fantastic job, he makes it through as well. Timmy Hansen, like his teammate Timo Timosyanov, had a fatal problem with the car, and that's it, his weekend is over. Here's how they stand after intermediate classification. Bakkerud was on top, Larsen, Heikkinen, Nitish, Solberg, Groslich and in. The top 12, of course, all go through to the semi-finals. Here's how they split. So we have the odd numbers going to one side and the evens to the other. Molly was down on the pre-grid earlier on, having a chat with the drivers.
Andreas, second in Portugal. Now you're best in the overall classification before the semi-finals. How do you feel right now?
To be honest, I'm a bit nervous. We have a crazy semi-final here with I think Topi, Solberg, Faust, Hansen, and one more guy, I guess. Yeah, but I'm happy with the weekend. You know, we have been constant, not the fastest maybe all the time. It was quick in the first heat. Now I heard the mountain guys have tuned the engine a little bit more, so hopefully we go off in the start and make it all dusty out there so the other guys don't see anything. And from that on, just keep flat out.
Andreas, how do you prepare the best you can before a semi-final?
That's a big secret. I really can't tell you.
Thank you, Andreas.
Thank you.
Anton, you just made it into the semi-finals. How are you feeling right now?
It's an amazing feeling. I thought I wouldn't be able to go to the semi-final because of the fire and everything yesterday, but the guys have been working so hard, and I made it to the semi-final, and you know, no semi-final is an easy one, and I hope that I can do good and be first, second or third to cross the finish line and proceed to the final.
We're moments before starting now. Are you nervous?
No, actually not. I made it to the semi-final. I know everything can happen. I know I have a good pace. I think I've scored a third best lap time of everybody. Both the two guys that was quicker than me was in the other semi-final, so it should be fine. My nerves is okay, and I will just go flat out and put up a good show out there.
Good luck, Anton. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very, very much looking forward to these semi-finals. My name is Andrew Coley. Alongside me is 1992 British Touring Car Champion Tim Harvey, who has been very much enjoying his first experience of the World Rallycross Championship as well. Tim, brilliant weekend so far.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? I think it's every petrolhead's dream. They're fast, they're exciting, you've got personalities, and now after timed racing we come down to the knockout stages.
First semi-final is lining up on the grid as we speak. Here's how they line up. On the front row, Andreas Bakkerud and Topi Heikkinen. Row 2, Petter Solberg and Tanner Faust might have been higher up if they hadn't missed those jokers earlier today. And at the back, Henning Solberg and Fabien Paillet. Well, this is going to be absolutely fascinating. We know how fast Petter's starts have been, Tim. I mean, you know, he could rocket forward from where he is on the grid. They could shut the door on him. Heikkinen's, you know, no fall on the front row.
Joker lap you can take from the very first corner, but now we're not starting in one line, we're starting in 3 rows. So the options, they won't be able to pre-decide where they're going to go. So far this weekend has been the guys taking the regular line first, got away quickly, but who will get off the line best?
See, the drivers are eager to get going, so am I. I'm almost as nervous as they are, pacing around a bit. Timo Timosyanov is up here in the Ion Spotters Tower with us alongside the commentary position. Thumbs up from Timo, despite the fact he's out this weekend. We'll see the reigning champion return, but it's all about the semi-final start now. Semi-final number 1 is underway. Great start from Heikkinen. Bakkerud as well. Bakkerud moves across the inside, blocks the door on Solberg. Heikkinen goes straight to the jumper. Henning Solberg is gone with him. And Tanner Faust looks like he dropped to the back, Tim.
Faust got left on the line, but he's got speed break over the Solberg on the inside.
Bakkerud trying desperately to stay with him to do so, but he couldn't do it.
Great drive there, that was a brilliant effort by Jan. So there's contact going up Harry Hill already. These guys mean business now.
Of course, look at the car goes right as they go over the curbs into the gravel section again around Cheshunt's Drift, named after Bill Cheshunt, the man who built this circuit, of course, the birthplace of Rallycross, 1967. Brilliant to see the World Championship here. Solberg is flying, but Backwood's going with him.
Said that he'd had the round tune boys tune up that engine a bit for the semis and the final, and it looks like the weapon itself now is every bit as quick as Solberg's car.
Backwood is stalking them. Remember, the top three go through and the other three go out. They will go no further. It's only Backwood and Solberg who haven't jokered. This is a six-lap semi-final. There is Pernilla, Solberg and Oliver. Petter's son. Oliver missed Petter's debut win in Portugal. Remember how exciting it was. He was one of the first people on the phone to Petter. Backwood right with him. Supercar Norway right up the front of him. Raikkonen is currently in third.
Yeah, and he's less than 4 seconds behind Solberg and Backwood. 4 seconds is the time it takes to take that Joker lap.
So Raikkonen looking like he might slot out in front of these two if they don't hurry up. Is Petter driving defensively, Tim? It doesn't look like it to me, but
I think they're stretching out a bit on this last lap. They set a personal quickest lap time on the last lap. Petter Solberg at 42.7, very quick lap time.
What's wrong with Tanner Fouts? Because to me this isn't the pace we've seen from the American, particularly today.
No, he didn't get off the line, did he? And last lap when he took a Joker, so we don't know. But he hasn't got the pace he had earlier. It's Raikkonen that's the one we're going to watch. We'll see who takes the Joker lap this time.
Neither of them, so both the leaders continue on the standard lap. Raikkonen is continuing to close down. I suppose it doesn't matter, you know, if Raikkonen gets the jump on them. That's is that Fabian Paya? It is. That's Paya has pulled off. So Fabian Paya who replaced Timmy Hansen because Timmy had this terminal problem with his car. Fabian Paya is out as well, so we're down to just two when we drop. Faust is out of this. He's absolutely miles off the back of this pack. So one person's not going to make it. Henning Solberg, reasonable gap. Not sure, Tim.
Yeah, we're going to see on this next lap what happens. I think Tommy Raikkonen's driven really well. He's been, you know, whenever you take that Joker lap on the first lap, you're lost in the race, aren't you? But he's right there on time.
He's made himself some space, hasn't he? So he's got into clear track straight away. Backwood goes for the Joker. Backwood goes for the Joker on lap 5 or 6. And we've got smoke pouring from Henning Solberg's car just past us underneath the commentary deck. It looks like Henning Solberg might have expired as well. Raikkonen sorts out in front of Backwood. Is Raikkonen going to get the jump on Solberg as well and stick himself on the front row for the final?
Yeah, front row position would make a big difference, wouldn't it, going off the grid on the final?
You'd certainly fancy your chances, wouldn't you, to choose which line you want to take in the final, whether to go for the Joker first or not.
Oh, it's getting close. It's virtually to the eye. It looks virtually bang on the 4 seconds, doesn't it?
To Solberg into the turn at the bottom of the hill. Going down the hill, Raikkonen Backwood.
This time.
Yeah, he didn't this morning, did he? That would be a disaster. I'm absolutely positive he will. But Petter goes for the Joker lap now. We can see from commentary he's gone to the Joker. Faust is struggling at the top of the hill. We need to see the exit of the Joker. There it is. Petter Solberg slots out from behind. Raikkonen's got him. Backwood getting it as well. Backwood's on the clean line, but Solberg carries the speed around the outside.
Yeah, well, that shows how it works with the Joker. And Raikkonen Tommy's driven a beautiful race this time. And to beat Solberg in a straight race like this, that's going to give him confidence for the final.
It is, isn't it? Everybody struggled to get in front of Solberg. Raikkonen takes a defensive line because now he just wants to make sure he's on the front row of the grid. Solberg with a little bit of a storm in corner. Backwood goes up the inside. Don't know what happened to Solberg. Backwood's right up the inside. He's practically going to shut the door on him. Contact between the two. Solberg runs wide up the middle bank. Backwood comes through at the death. Raikkonen takes it from Backwood and Solberg. 1, 2, 3. What a finish!
Great, so they were the class of that heat or that semi. They got through, but they were racing for track position, for grid position in the final there. And Solberg, well, you wouldn't have thought he'd have been down in third as Faust comes through to complete his weekend.
So Faust then will be disappointed. That hasn't quite worked out. But my goodness me, Raikkonen, look, waving to the crowd already. He's relaxed just at the fact that he's made it through on the front row. Here's a replay. Faust then with a problem, technical problem definitely. Look at Solberg and Backwood. Where was the pass?
Backwood very carefully protected the inside. This was up into the hairpin. Solberg's through already at this stage, covering the inside. And then, well, that body's still flapping, showing the strains and stresses going through these World Rallycross cars. But it was Topi Raikkonen all the way through who was making the pace. And when Solberg took his Joker lap, he came out in second.
Brilliant job by Raikkonen. I'm interested to see what happened to Solberg, Tim, and we didn't see it in the replays there, but something went wrong at the hairpin, didn't it? And Backwood got the run on him down the hill. It was brave of Backwood because Petter was shutting the door, but he stayed right inside him. Semi-final number 1 results. Topi Heikkinen goes through with Andreas Backerud and Petter Solberg. Tanner Faust, Henning Solberg and Fabien Paillet will play no further part this weekend. Wow, what a semi-final.
Topi, you continue to dominate now in the semi-final. How was it?
Yeah, it was great. I think I got a good start, and I thought I could take the Joker in the first lap, which was a good choice. And yeah, the Volkswagen Polos had to be quite fast, and I'm really happy about the car. And now I got to take one Red Bull, and let's go back.
Thank you, Topi. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, Topi then is fully fired up, isn't he, for the final? All smiles and winks and confidence, and that, yeah, massive confidence boost, I think, for him ahead of that final race. And if it's anything like the semi, that is going to be absolutely fantastic. Here's a look at the lineup for semi-final number 2. They're lining up on the grid right now. 2 Brits through to the semis here in Lydden Hill. Front row, Robin Larsson, fantastic performance in the A1, and Reinis Nitish. Second row, Jerome Grosset-Janin, a brilliant heat drive from him earlier, and wildcard Andrew Jordan, very impressive here at Lydden Hill. Andy Scott, semi-finals again, and Anton Markland at the back.
Well, somebody's going to be disappointed. Only 3 go through again, and you know, you'd have to say that probably all of these guys are capable of getting there, depending on how the race goes. Getting some clear track position will be important, but where are they going to split into that Joker on the first lap?
It's so important, isn't it? It's even less clear cut than in the in the heats when we had 5 abreast. It was kind of in the middle. You had a choice: left, you went left; right, you went right. Andrew Jordan on row 2 is out to the left-hand side. I wonder if he might take a cue from Topi there. It'd be interesting to know if anyone's been up the radio and say, listen, it worked for Topi, but we're about to find out. Front row then is Larsson and Nitish. There are the lights. Great start from Andrew Jordan. I think he's going off towards the left-hand side. He's been blocked by Nitish. Nitish goes to the Joker along with Andrew Jordan. The 2 Osborne's Embassy cars. Larsson leads from Grosset-Janin, who runs wide. Andy Scott is turning
to the back of Larsson. Yeah, takes the position. This is an impressive Andy Scott. This is what I want to see. Oh, look on
Ross, very, very brave. Andy Scott's out in the gravel track. Andy Scott all the way through the gravel track. These guys have lost so much time. Surely that's going to break down and lose time above now. 2 times, okay, broken car. Grosset-Janin, the rear end's broken. He gets clattered again by Andy Scott. Grosset-Janin, he's out. He's going no further. There's no question about it. And Nitish and Jordan already on the back of Andy Scott.
That's played into Nitish and Jordan's hand by taking the Joker and having a clear lap while the others were banging into each other. They've made it close to that 4 seconds already.
Goodness me, so they know that Andy Scott's going to go 1 place back. It's just a case of trying to catch up with the 2 in front, isn't it? What about Markland as well? I mean, really brave, a bit all over the place, but...
Yeah, on the loose, on the grass, up the inside. Andy Scott ran wide last time round here at the elbow, and well, it's handed the position now to the advantage, shall we say, to the Osbergs forwards.
On board and looking up the hill, around to the right. Right is Nitish, up behind Markland down the hill. Markland is a much more fearsome competitor this year. He struggled last year. Look how sideways he is in that corner. That's going to lose him some time. Nitish is going to be right up behind him. So Jordan and Nitish are still the only 2 to have taken the Joker back. Nitish now right behind Markland. Larsson is off in the distance. What's the gap? Larsson's got 3 seconds on Markland already. Won't be long. He'll be off to Joker and come back out in the lead. What a debut for the A1.
Yeah, it's still not definitely done, is it, for that 3rd place?
Not at all. Into the left-hander at the bottom of the hill and away. Andrew Jordan will be desperate to make it through to finally set the semis with the aim, Tim, but what do you think about that?
I think once you get to the semis, your aim is to get to the final, and you forget about your pre-event predictions. But yeah, Larsson, this A1 out has been a revelation of this meeting. Absolutely flying. He's driving it superbly.
He is indeed. So Markland is the man here with the key to whether or not Andrew Jordan goes through. Larsson is going to slot out. I'm absolutely convinced, still in a position that we'll see him go through to the final. Markland goes through with Nitish. Andrew Jordan now is going to come out just behind Larsson, I think he is. So Markland is the Grosset-Janin. Forget the graphic at the top for Grosset-Janin. He is out. Markland with the orange name at the top of your screen. He's still got to Joker, and it's about the gap from him to Jordan.
Exactly, that's going to be the battle, as I said, for the 3rd place when we go back. I think Andy Jordan is just close enough to do it.
It's 3 seconds, yeah.
Inside, and Markland's on the loose. He can do it.
Well, it'd be great, wouldn't it, for the British crowd to see a Brit go through. Unfortunate weekend for Liam Doran, who really is the local favourite in Northern.
Yeah, but Andy
start-finish line. Andrew Jordan, who you saw leaving there, rear end of his car onto the gravel section. Markland goes wide. Watch the three cars on the inside. This is what it's all about. If Andrew Jordan can come out in front of Markland, I think he's going to. So Nitish is through. Larson too. Andrew Jordan sorts out in third. Half a lap to go in the British Touring Car Championship. He's going to make it through to the final of the World Rallycross Championship event at the first attempt.
Well, let's see him through across the line first, because Martin will be giving it everything, and there you see evidence of that.
Martin right out to the grass on the day. Oh, he has a little look. He has a little look. I thought he was going to try and stick it up the inside, but down the hill now is the only chance he's got to take that position off him. On board now with Martin looking at the driver, working hard into Paddock Bend, but he's not going to get it done. It's Rainis Nitish over the line. Larson and Andrew Jordan go through to the final. Martin just misses out. A great drive by Martin anyway. Wow, Andy Scott a little way further back from those guys, and Grosjean, of course, with retirement. Tim, the semi-finals and the final this year are outrageous. It's hard to keep up, isn't it?
It's suddenly stepped up a gear, hasn't it? And with the 6 laps, the extra 6 laps, they have to maintain their concentration that little bit further.
Let's have a look at the replays. What do you think about this start?
Larson got away, didn't he? But the 2 Oldsberg cars decided to take their joker together, which proved to be the right thing, as the 4 cars on the regular line all get together, slowing themselves down and causing damage.
Now, what about this contact between that? Grosjean's car was broken already, so is that down from turn 1?
Must have been. Broken rear toe arm and the left rear wheel sticking out. Larson is cracking on at his own pace, does the right thing. The Oldsberg cars, look, this is on the end of the lap where mistakes are being made.
One little mistake from Larson, wasn't it? Got in traffic, but impressive drive from Rainis Nitish. You know, this guy was sitting a maths exam as an 18-year-old on Friday. Here he is, winning his semi-final and going through to the front row. Absolutely brilliant job. The crowd like that, and so do we. Everybody up on the Monster Energy rig at the top of the hill. They've got a great view of the wonderful Lydden Hill circuit. Absolutely brilliant. There is the result of semi-final number 2. Rainis Nitish, Robin Larson and Andrew Jordan. So 2 out of the 3 going through a wild card. Anton Markland, Andy Scott and Jerome Grosjean are finished. Brilliant semi-final number 2. Hope you enjoyed that as much as we did. Stick around for the final. It's going to be in a little while. This will be the grid for the final. Topi Heikkinen and Rainis Nitish will be on row 1. Row 2 will be Backerud and Larson. And at the back will be Solberg and Jordan. Let's see who Molly's with.
Rainis, you're in the final again.
Yeah, unbelievable. It was really hard race, a lot of strong drivers, and yeah, yesterday was bad, but that today is good, and I'm happy I am topping again and looking forward for the final.
Fantastic, well done.
The European Championship results are in, and first place goes Robin Larson. So Larson had a fantastic weekend, through to the world final and won the European class. Jerome Janin in the Renault Clio is second in the European class. Tanner Phelps third, Andrew Jordan fourth.
Well, this is a look back at the action from over the weekend, of course, from touring cars and Super 1600. And one of the cars there, Tim, didn't even make it off the grid in touring cars, and that's a bit of an exercise in points nicking, isn't it?
Yeah, you'd have to take the start. He knew on the staging that he'd broken the front right suspension, but took the start nevertheless. But that didn't stop us having some good action in the touring cars.
2-litre rear-wheel drive, you know, sideways machines. They're still crowd pleasers, aren't they? And yesterday in the wet, they were absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, modern day RS 2000s, aren't they? We love them. We love our rear-wheel drive cars. A variety there, Mazda RX-8, a bit of everything.
Great job by Daniel Lund, who took the win. Anders Bratton and Tom Daniel Tanovic were behind him. Lund, of course, if you were following European Rallycross last year, was a great competitor in the Volvo. There's the championship standings after round 2. Daniel Lund leading from Torleif Lona, Anders Bratton, Larsen, Mertens, Tanovic and Cass. A full array of manufacturers involved in touring cars as well. And hopefully we should be able to get a little look at the Super 1600s too. So these were the Super 1600 semi-finals. Missy Julia in the orange Fabia there was very, very slow off the line, Tim.
Yeah, but certainly came back with a vengeance during the race, and you know, did some really good passing during this heat.
It was contacted plenty, wasn't it? I mean, Super 1600s in the wet yesterday, you know, the opposite of the touring cars. They're hard to get the power down. They were very tidy. They weren't very spectacular. Today, back to their best. You know, 250 odd horsepower in a front-wheel drive, very lightweight rallycross car, a lot of fun.
Yeah, very flickable, short wheelbase car, so they can really flick it in. This was coming through the grid. Look at the aggression, chucking the car into Paddock Hill Bend there. Paddock Bend anyway here at Lydden, but not Paddock Hill like Brands.
Well, that's all right. It's still a hill.
It's still a classic corner, isn't it? At the bottom of the hill. Whoa, that was clipping the inside.
That was
there.
incredible, wasn't it? Didn't
Good
he do
save.
well to get away with it? Absolutely fantastic. Miss Julia there right the way through at the very end of the race. Despite all that drama on the last lap, he made it through to the final. Here's the second semi-final. On the inside line was Ulrich Linnemann. Now, Linnemann had a couple of problems out in Portugal. He's had problems here too as well. He broke the gearbox in practice. He missed the Joker lap out in Portugal. That didn't go according to plan for him there, so that was a little bit disappointing. But today, no problems, and he'll be going through as well to the final. Super 1600 final will be coming up before the Lights final, and more cracking racing. RX Lights, of course, a new class for this year. We'll be having a look at those very shortly. But there was Linnemann taking the victory in semi-final number 2. Good job by him.
So, as we're coming down to the grid, once we get down here.
Stunning afternoon at Lydden Hill for round 2 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship, and it has proved to be all the action that we expect from Rallycross and a bit more, to be honest. So I am frequently left breathless by commentary on Rallycross. It's just so exciting, and I'm really pleased to have Tim Harvey alongside me here. Tim, Super 1600 final coming up. These machines are a bit different to the supercars.
Yeah, very different. Front wheel drive, a lot less horsepower, a lot less technology in the cars as well, but actually great little racing cars. You know, they drive them right on the rev limit all the time, pulling the gears, trying to extract the maximum out of the engine. But yeah, front wheel drive as opposed to rear wheel drive, and all very equal as well. So driver skill really does make a difference.
It's interesting to note that Reinis Nittisch and Andreas Backerud were the last 2 European champions in Super 1600 into a supercar. You'd think they'd need a little while to get their heads around, and yet here's Nittisch and Backerud just smashing it out the ballpark like it's the easiest thing ever.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, if you've extracted the maximum out of a Super 1600 car, when you get into a supercar, even though it's 600 horsepower, you've got a 4-wheel drive, you've got the diffs. Actually, it's probably a lot easier in many ways. It's faster, yes, and you're up against very good competition. But I don't think that they've proved, Nittisch especially, the adaptation is quite easy to do.
I mean, we've got Larson, of course, in supercars who we'll see in the final. He's done the opposite and come from touring car into it. And normally it seems that the touring car drivers struggle, but again, young man and has just done a great job. We're going to see him line up soon. But Super 1600 or touring cars are a great way through. Keep your eyes on these young drivers because they might be in supercars next year. Ulrich Linnemann and Kasparas Navikas on the front row. Sergei Zakimenov and Pavel Vimmer on the second row. Nikita Misulia and Andrei Smetana on the back. Well, they're not shy of a bit of contact in Super 1600, so turn 1, as you saw, Chesson Drift and the Joker lap was pretty exciting with supercars, and I'm fairly confident we can expect similar fireworks from the Super 1600 guys. I saw Linnemann just prior to going on air, and he looked very, very relaxed indeed, just walking through the paddock, having a little chat about the problems through the weekend, but right at the front of the grid, here we go. On the rev limiter for the Super 1600s, they'll be looking for the lights to change. You can see them just to the right. There they go, green light away. Much harder to get the power down with only 2-wheel drive. And from the second row, Zakimenov right up to the front. Fantastic contact between him and Linnemann. Linnemann is not giving him any space whatsoever. They've got 3 and 3 on the Joker. Miss Julia is now right up behind Zakimenov. And Linnemann's come out there really well too.
Yeah, he held his ground, didn't he? Zakimenov, who won the first round in Portugal, desperate to make a good start and get that lead. Linnemann was having none of it.
He wasn't. I mean, yeah, that was all the way through the first corner, right the way down to the little short tarmac sections in the much or not?
If anything, it'll be possibly slightly slower, because the change of direction and get through the chicane is going to be a bit slower, I guess. But, you know, it's going to be fairly similar. We still have the same distance. Yellow flags down there, obviously at Cheshunt.
So that's one overtaking opportunity gone, and Vimmer's car is sitting smack in the middle of the line. Linneman takes his joker out. Where's he going to stop back out? He's going to be alongside Zakimenov. This is going to be the race for the win in the final. I think Zakimenov's done it. Linneman, though, he's alongside him. Contact again between them. We know they give no quarter from the first corner, but Linneman has to slot in behind Zakimenov.
Yeah, the problem is you come out equally, but if you're on the outside, having just taken your joker, you're on the loose stuff, which is why actually, having taken his arm and taken the joker first, but then on time gave him the advantage of the dry track.
Do you think it would have been wise for Linneman to wait another couple of laps and try to build a gap?
I mean, if he thought he was quicker. But I think it was very good of Zakimenov to take it then, because, as I say, they came to the same lap time, but he came back alongside, but on the dry bit of the track without the loose gravel.
Linneman, right on the brakes, but not so. He's Navikas, he's far too late, he's on the line. Navikas comes to him as opposed to collecting Vimmer's car. Caught out a hard stop over Vimmer as well, still at the side of the track, and we want to see the car damage, but that's dropped Navikas out of the fight for the win. Zakimenov and Linneman are away, and there's only 2 laps to go. Remember, 6-lap final.
Yeah, that was a puncture that we saw there. He didn't pick that up. It was just constant round the outside finish. But battle is still engaged between the top 2, Zakimenov and Linneman.
What do you think about Linneman's chances here? And I think he's dropping back a little bit, Tim, if anything.
Yeah, I think Zakimenov is quicker. He's going to his rhythm and he's holding it without mistakes at the moment. But as I say, these last laps is where the mistakes come in, because they're all conditioned to doing 4 laps, aren't they?
He's all on the body, and does he say that he runs wide? Zakimenov runs wide on the brakes. He manages to get back onto the tyre. Linneman's right with him. Linneman opens the throttle maybe too early. Thought he saw a gap, but runs a bit wide.
Yeah, got excited, chased the throttle and got himself out of the bush. This is good for Zakimenov, because once you get on the loose marbles on the outside, it's so hard to drag the car back in. But exactly the sort of mistakes on the last lap we expect.
Zakimenov then has just 2 corners to go. He's going to be able to take win number 2 from 2. He'll be very happy with that. He was 6th last year in the European Rallycross Championship for Super 1600s. With Holland Racing running a number of fast Super 1600 cars. And he does indeed take the win. It's Zakimenov from Linneman. But Lydden, and in 3rd place, I think it's going to be Navikas. Navikas comes up and over the line now. It is indeed. And the other 3, really, nowhere to be seen. So we've obviously had a few mechanicals, Tim, that have been out of our sight. We were so excited about the battle for the win.
Yeah, but it was a good battle, really good battle between the 2 of them. I think the key for Zakimenov was taking that joker before Linneman, just gave him track position when Linneman took his and they came back out.
It's almost like the pressure there as well. Linneman must have known the pace was very near, so he said, right, I better go now in case he makes an overlap on me staying up for longer than me, and it didn't work.
Didn't work. He obviously thought he was a little bit quicker and maybe would have enough of a gap, but I think they did it identical lap times.
Another great race here. We've got a little bit of cloud cover, which is just taking away the sunshine, but it's still a lovely, warm, dry day. Zakimenov takes the win in the Super 1600 final from Linneman, Navikas, Smetana, Misulia and Vimmer. That's the final result. Little look under the bonnet here. Vimmer trying to figure out what's wrong with the car.
And a very appreciative crowd. Yeah, this is a knowledgeable crowd here at Lydden Hill. These are rallycross aficionados who have been coming here since black and white TV days.
1967, in fact, maybe. You never know. We might have somebody who was here at the very first race meeting. And they could see the whole track, Tim. Absolutely brilliant. Here's the championship standings for Super 1600 after round 2. Zakimenov is leading the championship. Linneman 2nd, Misulia in 3rd, and Shigabutinov. Navikas, Smetana, Vimmer and Stefan. 5 Skodas in the top 8. So Oryx Lights is new for this year. Have a look at this.
Well, this is a new category in World Rallycross Championship. This 2400cc engines, mid-engine cars, completely identical. Identical tires also. It shows the difference between the drivers. It's quite fun.
It's up to the driver. All the cars are equal. So yeah, you basically need to be the fastest driver, and that's what I want to be. You know, build to be one step easier to get into a supercar. The lights, it's four-wheel drive and it's everything that a supercar have, except that it's less horsepower and stuff. So it's a really good learning curve to drive it.
Well, I think racing, especially in America, it's just a sport that is growing so much. It has big names, big sponsors, and it's just very interesting. I got a good invitation to come to Rallycross, which was something I had an eye already. I just didn't have the right opportunity. And suddenly when it happened, it just kind of happened in the right time, and I decided to give it a good go.
Lights final is up next then. As you'll have seen, it's a one-make championship, space frame chassis, 2.4 litre normally aspirated engine with 310 horsepower and four-wheel drive. So this is really the learner category now to go and jump in a supercar. I think it's a pretty good preparation for it. We've got an interesting lineup on the grid for you as well of new names that some of you will definitely have heard of before. Some who were in Portugal for round one, some who were most certainly not. That man there, Nelson Piquet Jr. Good to see him in a rallycross car, I think, Tim.
Yeah, a bit different to his nationwide truck championship NASCAR style, and certainly very different from Formula One, but brave of him to take the chance, and he wants to do more of it. Here's the grid.
Mitchell de Jong on pole, Richard Goranson is alongside him, Kevin Eriksson in third, and Nelson Piquet Jr. in fourth, Sebastian Eriksson and Daniel Bjork.
And in fairness to Piquet, he's gone quicker every time out in the car. He started off slowest, and he's now well amongst it on the pace.
He's preparing himself for X Games, isn't he, which is doing a supercar. He thinks this is a good way to prepare himself. I think I tend to agree. We've got two Erikssons on the grid. Sebastian Eriksson on the back row was the winner from round one of RX Lights in Portugal. And Kevin Eriksson on row two is the son of Andreas Eriksson, who you see in your picture right now. Andreas, of course, is the boss of Wolfsburg's MSC, who run the works Fords in the World Rallycross Championship, but also build these lights. Mitchell de Jong as well, looking forward to telling you about him and what he races when he's not out in a rallycross car. I think we have a short delay while we wait for some cars to be cleared from the track, but they're pretty much gone now. They're being dragged out from the Joker lap, which we can see from the commentary position. That was Wimmer's Super 1600 in the previous race.
But these cars all very equal, mini supercars really, four-wheel drive, 300 horsepower, and they're quick.
They are quick, and the fights are fantastic between them. In Portugal, we had an absolutely brilliant final between them. Anybody's race.
Be interesting to see what Sebastian Eriksson do. There he is on the back row. Oh no, there he is on the back row. See what he can do. Number 11, winner in Portugal.
Andreas looking on nervously. Revs are up. You can tell they're normally aspirated because they're right on the limiter. Mitchell de Jong on the inside. Can he get a decent start and defend his position from Goranson? He does. Goranson's alongside him. De Jong's not giving that until Goranson says no. I'm going straight to the joke now. De Jong with a hard shot. He's into the first corner first, Tim.
Yeah, he is, and he'll try and strip away now. Interesting tactical decision there. Who takes the joke early? But remember, in a close race like this, if you take your joke up, there's accidents in front of you.
So at the moment then, de Jong is chased by Kevin Eriksson. Kevin Eriksson spent a lot of time in these cars. He's racing lights over in America, he's racing them in Sweden, he's racing them in, alongside the World Rallycross Championship. Lights coming with us to several rounds. Andreas Eriksson, I'm assuming he's calling the joke lap for his own son Kevin, who runs a little bit wide down in the corner at the bottom of the hill, down in Paddock Bend. He drops himself back a little bit.
That's a good first lap by de Jong, so tell us where he gets his experience from.
Well, it's really because it's done a great chat with him, and then de Jong races radio control cars in the winter, and he does iRacing online, sim racing basically in the winter when he's not seeing a car. He's done some kind of similar to trophy truck racing too, but I'm really impressed with his approach, and it's his first time out the States as well.
Yeah, fantastic. You have to get a passport to come over here. You should have a passport to come to here.
It's absolutely brilliant. What a place to come
fastest laps each lap, so he's really focused. Last one slightly slower, but up until that point, every single lap look, he's got a really comfortable lead. Excellent.
Super tiny job by Mitchell de Jong. First time at Lydden Hill, first time outside America, first time racing in Europe, and I think he'll be back. He said how much he'd like to come back to some of the other circuits. I was telling him how fantastic places like Hollius and Hell and Lowiak are. You know, he's just desperate to come and race on the classic rallycross tracks. He is on the most classic track of them all. And Mitchell de Jong comes down Harry Hill, one more braking zone to go, pitches the car into the right under in front of our commentary position. There he is through the sweeping right left up and over the chicane. It's a win for the American driver. Mitchell de Jong, Richard Goranson ends up in second and Bjork in fact in third. So both of the Ericssons dumped outside the top three. Great final from the lights.
Really exciting racing. You can see how equal they were, but no doubt about the class of the field, Mitchell de Jong.
When they're in equal cars like this as well, Tim, it's easy, isn't it, to say, OK, it's down to one thing, it's down to the driver. You know, there's nothing else here which can be changed. They're on control tyres, control everything.
Yeah, a little bit of setup, but he was the man for the job, no doubt about it. Replay, look, he hasn't done anything wrong. Makes a good start, goes straight away for the racing line, doesn't take the joker, and then just built a gap through sheer pace.
Every single lap. Maybe some of the guys held themselves up behind, but to be fair, I think that was all down to Zhong's just fantastic driving. He was so... The thing about it is there was no drama. He just put in lap after lap after lap. There we go, American flag at the top of the table. Mitchell de Jong takes the win from Richard Goranson, Bjork, Kevin Eriksson, Sebastian Eriksson, and Nelson Piquet Jr. with a DNF. So Molly is in the spotter's tower. Let's see who she's having a chat with.
Andreas Eriksson, team manager for the Ford MSC Oldsburg team. You have 3 cars now in the final.
Yes, I was lucky. I won in each row, and see how lucky I am after the final. But the day went really well. All the plans we did was working. I was a little worried that the drivers didn't have this last little, push, but they showed me goodwill. Bakker's passing on Solberg was extremely, it was tough and hard, but it was what I needed to see. Nittis went from good to better. And Andrew is a good surprise because he'd been doing a lot of mistakes the whole weekend. And to be honest, he should be higher up on the grid if he didn't do all those mistakes. But here we are,
Apparently Nittis has an issue now before the final. Do you know anything about that?
Nah, we had some problems with the car. So in one of the heat there was misfiring and so on. But it seems to be fixed. So,
best of luck. Thank you.
Well, Andreas Eriksson then is feeling very confident about his chances in the Supercar final, and rightly so. With 3 cars out of 6 in the final, that's good odds. I'm sure he'd like a nice clean sweep. Here's a look at the RX Light Championship standings. Sebastian Eriksson, Goranson, Eriksson, Kevin, and then Daniel Holton, Timmer, Bjork, de Jong and Westland. Supercar final is coming up next. Petter Solberg, can he go for the double? Creeping forward in the DS3. This car, of course, is a new car. Alexander Wahl is in his car from last year. So Pet has the latest of everything on it. He's done a great job of developing the car. It took him all last year. Topi Heikkinen, current American Rallycross champion, signing a course for Volkswagen over the winter. And we're just hearing that Nittish is not going to make the start. Tanner Faust has been put forward into the final. So Rainis Nittish, just as we were saying that Andreas Eriksson had 3 cars in the final, he's down to 2. So he's now down to Bakkerud.
Yeah, and of course no Hansen Peugeots in the final at all, which is a real shock. I was going to say 3 Fords all made it through, but of course now it's 2 and Faust gets in, so we've actually now got 2 VWs, 2 Fords, the Audi, and it's a great lineup for this final.
The Audi's on row 2, Solberg's lining up, Andrew Jordan with a little practice start. Andreas Eriksson said a few mistakes. I think Andrew's done a good job. I think the puncture wasn't his fault, but likewise, it's there's stuff to learn.
Andrew Jordan's done a fantastic job, no question about it. He's been absolutely brilliant. He's up against the best in the world. This is the World Championship. He's a British touring car driver with some rallycross experience.
And he's his own biggest critic, Tim, as well, isn't he? You're talk to him, and every little thing he wants to improve on all the while. That's why he's a champion of the Premier Touring Car category here in the UK, and that's why he's in the final of a World Rallycross Championship event. I'm so impressed with him.
Me too, and he's more than done enough, but certainly the British crowd will like to see him get the best possible result here. And if it comes down to pushing and shoving, there won't be a better bloke than Andrew Jordan to get stuck in.
No, certainly he'll be used to it, won't he? Here's the grid. Toppy Heikkinen on the front row, Andreas Baccarin alongside him now. Larsen and Peter Solberg on row 2. At the back of the grid, Andrew Jordan and Tanner Faust. Very, very much looking forward to this one. Baccarin against Heikkinen at the front. VW against Ford. Audi in behind them. Can they steal the party on their first appearance here in the World Rallycross Championship? Lights are on for the final away. Great start by Larsen. He's been across the inside. Heikkinen's over the door. Larsen's up the inside. Contact between those two. Andrew Jordan has gone to the inside there. I think alongside right up behind Peter Solberg. Faust has gone to the joke with Baccarin. Heikkinen and Larsen goes into the lead.
Larsen was super aggressive on that first lap. We've got 3 of the finest rallycross drivers in the world here battling it out. 6 laps, they all made perfect starts.
Andrew Jordan all over the back of Peter Solberg as they ran their way up the hill. Peter now braking very, very late. He closes the gap down to Toppy Heikkinen. Train of 4 cars. It was Baccarin and Faust, remember, have taken their joke lap already. And if these guys hold each other up, they will be there to pounce later on in the race.
Yeah, and I thought they'd have split it probably 3 going in the Joker. Maybe Andrew Jordan could have taken the Joker, but he's holding station with Peter Solberg, who decides to get out of that boot and take his Joker now. That could be a good move from Peter Solberg.
So it's Peter. It would be great to see if he manages to start back in. He's done taking off out, but he's not. Peter's starting back in the back. So a mistake from Peter. I think he's alongside Tanner Faust. He might get Tanner down into Devil's Elbow. He's going to have a launch up the inside. Very late on the brakes. That was inevitable. That was always going to happen. Contact between Peter and Tanner is too late on the brakes. Oh, Panilla's so disappointed. Oliver up here as well on the spotters tower. Peter's off backwards. He'll drag the car around, and he's been fireworks from the Norwegian now. He'll be sideways all the way to the end. He's not going to do the double victory, and that leaves us at the front then with Larsen leading from Heikkinen and Andrew Jordan.
Rallycross is all about control and aggression, and Peter Solberg knows all about the aggression, not so much about the control. He was coming off his joke lap on the outside, on the marbles, kept it lit all the way to the Devil's Elbow, but unfortunately took them both off.
Can't follow the laws of physics, can we? So there we go. Faust, of course, has Faust managed to continue? Has Faust just coming through Devil's Elbow, super sideways in the background there. Larsen leading Andrew Jordan up the inside of Heikkinen. Andrew Jordan up the inside of Toppy Heikkinen. Heikkinen makes the cut back across the grass. No track limits here. Andrew Jordan early on the gas manages to get back in front. What a move!
The touring car move, if ever I saw one. Get in, Andrew. Fantastic. Died up the inside and he managed to hold it together. Keep it on the outside. That was a brilliant move.
So was to see the charge hold. Andreas Baccarin was the first person into the final, to the first corner here in the final.
Well, Andy Jordan go. He's immediately gapped and he's really flying.
So Jordan then, I wonder if they've managed to turn his engine up a little bit. We know Mountain have various different settings they can use to give a bit more boost. He's now chasing after Larsen, but Larsen, Jordan and Heikkinen are still yet to Joker, so it's going to depend a little bit what's going on behind them. Baccarin, of course, jokered and will be chasing them down, hoping that he can keep that gap near enough. Baccarin coming down the hill in front of Gorgie. Here he is now, around through that sweeping right-hander. He's buckled up behind Heikkinen, but he knows Heikkinen's got a Joker.
inside. I think it was Heikkinen he took, wasn't it, on the, up at the hairpin. That's what won it for him. That was what did it. Fortune favours the brave in rallycross. Controlled aggression.
Absolutely brilliant. Petter Solberg, you know, just, I think the Joker maybe at the wrong time, and he came out alongside, didn't he? And as you said, he was desperate to get back past, which he had to do right there and then. Here's a little look at some replays. Solberg then, like Portugal, not that quick at first, but then flying. But he'd had the door shut on him by Backerud, who jokered on the first lap. And this is interesting too, isn't it? Backerud, we've been saying all weekend it's best to do the normal lap first. Backerud takes a joker lap and that's it, he's away.
Yeah, that was on board with the incident with Solberg. Solberg into the gravel at that point. Look at that, it was a huge lunge. He was definitely too far away. The reaction from the family says it all. That was the move. That was the one that got Backerud, I think, the win. That
you
lunge.
think that made the difference between the overlap?
Yes.
That Larson would have won it. Larson would have gone in front of him.
If he hadn't done that, I think Larson would have had him when he rejoined after the Joker.
How impressed as well with Lars Larson, son of Lars Larson, Robin Larson. Lars, of course, was a 2-time European champion in a Skoda. And it's a fantastic job in that Audi to debut it and to finish up second. He'll be over the moon. Here's Backerud. He struggled to learn donuts last year, but it looks like he's got a slightly better handle on it than he had before. Only slightly better,
Yeah,
though,
not
Tim.
hugely impressive. Here's the result.
Andreas Backerud takes the win from Robin Larson. So impressive, rallycross in the blood. And Andrew Jordan, British Touring Car Champion, stands on the podium at the UK round of the FIA World Rallycross Championship. Take a bow, Andrew. Toppy Heikkinen, Tanner Faust, and Portugal winner Petter Solberg in 6th. Molly is with Andreas Eriksson.
Andreas, fantastic win for Andreas.
Yeah, it was amazing. I was a little irritated because Nittis did have electrical problem, and I didn't know about it even when you interviewed me. And so, but I'm so happy. We have 2 cars on the podium, and 1 car is still in the paddock, unfortunately. But I can't be happier. It's great. We struggled the whole weekend to get the speed up. I think everyone showed a big work to get the cars to where we needed to be. So yeah, and once again Andreas proved that he really can deliver when he has to, and he's great on that, and that's why we have him.
Congratulations, thank you.
What a final for round 2 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship. Andrew Jordan popping out the bump on his roof. Has he been standing on it already? He's taken a cue from Petter Solberg, hasn't he? But brilliant drive by Andrew Jordan, British Touring Car Champion, to come 3rd. An equally brilliant drive by Larson, up from touring cars. He came 2nd, I think, in Sweden on his full debut in the Audi A1, and now, of course, he debuts at a World Championship level. And I think everyone's going to be terrified when he turns up to events later in the year. And Backerud won twice last year, and he wins here in the UK, round 2 of the World Rallycross Championship. Impressed with Andrew Jordan, Tim?
Hugely impressed. You know, this is a world-class field. To make the final is incredible. To finish 3rd with the control that he showed, with the overtaking he showed, the nous that he showed, knowing when to push, when to hold back. Really impressive.
That was that contact between Faust and Solberg.
And look how far away.
Look, he came in like a missile, Tim.
Yeah, there was no way that was ever on.
I don't even think Vanilla thought it was on, to be honest, looking at it.
This was the move, I think, that got Backerud the win. Decisive move. If he'd stayed behind for another lap or half lap, he could have been held up too much, and Larson would have got him when he took his joker. So that move, I think, was what gave him track position.
Little bit of smoke wasn't there off the tyre as well, but, you know, it held out. He had a lap and a half to go. I mean, could have gone the other way. Could have got a puncture and been ever so disappointed, but, you know, good job, I think.
And he likes to celebrate.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He did manage a donut. He
Yeah,
managed a
gave
donut
it a Scandinavian flick into the donut. No problem. Makes all the difference.
Even cooler. Almost as much smoke as we had from the Monster Energy drift drivers earlier on today. Backerud thrilling the crowd. Well, it was a brilliant display. We just came to it too late, Tim. Here was us saying he can't quite manage a donut still, and it was the best donuts I think we've seen.
10 out of 10.
Wonderful, wonderful job. Backerud, I tell you what, he's some talent. He really is. 2 wins last year for the Monster Energy team. Of course, now he crosses over to Ford, and it's taken him the whole of 2 events to get on the top step of the podium.
But you know what? He's a really nice guy. He's got a relaxed demeanour about him in the pits and the paddock. He's always ready for a quote. He's mimicking Petter Solberg. He's just a lovely guy to have about.
one-armed press-ups on the roof of your car. That's how to raise the game of the celebration, I think.
That's something you never saw me do.
Tim Harvey, not a fan of one-handed press-ups. Look how much it means to Baccarat. I love how much this guy gets excited when he wins. Absolutely brilliant job by him. Of course, he was second in Portugal, and now he takes the win here at round 2 of the FIA Rallycross Championship in the UK. Molly is down in the winner's enclosure. I wonder if she's managed to get hold of Andreas Baccarat yet or not.
Andreas, that was an incredible race. What gave you the win?
I was just focused on getting the biggest possible champagne so I could dip everybody with, you know. No, I'm really, UC was pushing me on the radio. Go hard, go in for winning it, and I got a good first lap, battle a little bit with Toppy there, so I thought I lost it, but we stayed calm and we did no mistakes all weekend. Big thanks to the team. Oh, Messi, the Ford is brilliant. I'm so happy right now. I can't believe that I grew up in the paddock and now I'm winning a World Rallycross race. It's perfect. Thank you all, guys.
Fantastic, congratulations.
I'm ready for hell. See you there.
He is indeed ready for hell. Of course, Norway, hell is the next round of the chase. That's nothing. He doesn't think he's going to be sent there because of his behaviour. Hell is up next, and Baccarat will be on home ground. And look at that, he goes there, leading the championship from his Norwegian friend Petter Solberg. Toppy Heikkinen is third, Nitish will be in fourth, then Markland, Larsen, Timmy Hansen, and Andrew Jordan on his one-off slots into 8th in the championship. So a good job by him. That's the standings after round 2. Further down, Cohen Powles, Tanner Faust, Andy Scott, and Grosse Janin down to 12th. Solberg, Paye, Tulle. We'll have a little look as well at the standings for the Teams Championship, and Ford then with the lead, a 22-point lead for Ford Olsberg's MSC, VW Markland Motorsport second, and PSRX are in third. Tim Harvey, your thoughts on the weekend? Have you enjoyed yourself?
Absolutely loved it. Brilliant racing. Provides everything everybody wants. Fast, noisy, exciting cars, quick races, lots of action, lots of drama. Superstar drivers, great brand names, well presented and brilliantly commentated on.
Thanks, Tim, and modest too. Here's your top 3. Andrew Jordan is in third. Robin Larsen is in second. But this man stands on top of the podium. What a job from Baccarat. He's just such a nice guy. If you meet him in person, he's as nice as that in real life. I promise you, it's not for TV. He genuinely loves this sport and he loves standing on the top step of the podium. Andrew Jordan over the moon with third. I'm sure Robin Larsen is absolutely chuffed a bit with second place. It's been a brilliant weekend of action at Lydden Hill. Fantastic. There's the trophy.
Perhaps it's those white driving boots. They're a bit flash, aren't they?
They are a bit flash. He'll probably have a different colour by the time he gets to the next round. He normally throws them into the crowd every other event when he wins, so Baccarat very pleased. He picks up his trophy for first.
Robin Larsen.
And a Ford in second too, lovely.
Yeah, I saw Andreas in the RX suite this morning having his picture taken with the trophies. I said you might as well take it now. And he could just as well have done, couldn't he?
He could have done, couldn't he? It's been a brilliant drive. Andrew Jordan on the podium. He's waiting for his third place trophy. The crowd will be pleased about that. They are indeed. He's the British Touring Car Champion. He takes a podium on his World Rallycross debut. If you join us next time in Norway, he'll be in the commentary box with me with even more insight. Absolutely brilliant weekend here at Lydden Hill. We hope we'll see you for round 3 at Hell in Norway. Champagne for the Monster Energy girls to the top 3 drivers. Baccarat sprays the crowd, the press, anyone who's near enough. Andrew Jordan gives it to him in the ear hole. Larsen's pouring it down his back. Absolutely fantastic racing here at round 2. My thanks to Tim Harvey for joining me up here in commentary. I hope you've all enjoyed it at home as much as we have enjoyed it here. There's 10 rounds still to go. The championship is anyone's for the taking. Year 1 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship. I won't disappoint you.